his gimmicks were to try and, I'm going to teach stand-up to the traveling community or minority groups, or like he did the one where he had minimum wage jobs and he wrote about that, but they were very like socially minded, sort of working class, kind of correcting an imbalance kind of thing, so completely the opposite of the show. He goes on and goes, and just so pathetic, so clearly trying to impress these American comedians who don't regard him at all. And he's going, I was there, and they're savages, they're like tribes people.
That's it.
And they just beat each other up.
He's like, they fight, and they then one of the Americans was like, he was literally like, they parade the youngest females around and exchange them for mating. Like, he phrased it like that. Yeah. And Des was like, yes, they do.
Yes, they do.
And then one of them was like, and then they're talking about, Des is like, they all have the same accent. And then one of them was like, oh, like how gay guys all have the same accent. And then he's like, well, that's crazy, because one of these travelers was also gay.
So eager to just be like, yes, let's keep this going. And I'm bringing this story. I'm this one who's, it's like you're part of this conversation.
Yeah, and then he brings up, and then he's like the guy Martin Ward is like still a comedian, still active, and like he was on the fucking show, and then
so they know who he's talking about.
And then Des Bishop is like singling him out and being like, he's crafty, like he's one of these animals.
He's manipulative.
Like he's just, even just to be like, it's so extreme, because there's people who are like, oh, all travelers are like this, but like Des Bishop is just completely dehumanizing this one guy who he was supposedly friends with,
Not to mention the fact that like he should know better. He was in these communities. He knows that that's actually not true, what he's saying, or is at least like, incredibly exaggerated and kind of some sort of like, it's like a fucking Punch magazine illustration, the way he's depicting
Well,
it,
I think there was that thing with Des Bishop where he was talking about how Irish people are really racist against travellers. And he was like, Irish people don't see it as racism, but it is. And to me, as an American, it seems like racism. Yeah. So then, like, he said that, I think, on, like, I don't know, some stand-up act years ago. And now he's on an American show. Americans are incredibly sensitive about racism, particularly even 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. And he's doing exactly what he described as racism, Yeah. And he only has one ball.
Become a patron at patreon.com/Celtic Ligers for more.